Hey, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the funny Pharah hero. Pharah's abilities are really straightforward. She can shoot rockets that do direct damage or splash damage in a decently large radius, and it's nothing too crazy. But yeah, you get splash damage, but you do more if you hit directs, right? That's the basics of your damage. If you hold space, you can fly upward, and it'll recharge whenever you're not using it. You can see even though I'm holding it, it's recharging. But what you can do is you can use that to hover forever and actually just float in the air, combined with your left shift, which just shoots you up in one straight line. Her movement's very straightforward, but she basically just floats in the air forever. And her last ability is her E, which she can use to boost enemies and herself with knockback. I was going to show by knocking Tracer off the map from there. It's like a little boop grenade. But yeah, that's all her abilities. And then her ults is Barrage, where she just gets kind of stagnant in midair, and just unloads. She shoots like a shit ton of rockets down. Yeah, the problem with Pharah, the problem most people have with Pharah, is pretty straightforward. And it's that she kind of requires multiple things to happen whenever she's picked. Right, so if she's on your team, she kind of needs a lot of healing because her movement is so slow and predictable, at least at higher elos, that like you can just shoot her and she'll die, right? Like it's very hard to heal a Pharah with something like, I don't know, Moira, right? It's not gonna happen. Xanorb is one of the few things that generally is okay at healing Pharah, but the standard pick is Mercy, and it's so common it's even called Pharmacy, right? No other Mercy pocketed character has a name like that. Pharmacy is just that iconic because it's just required. Her movement is extremely simple. She's a poke heavy character. You basically just sit around corners and kind of spam people out. Your little concussion blast thing that can boop other people is actually generally used to boop yourself to get further in. It's your only real movement option on this character. Everything else just has you hover in the air, which is a problem also, not because not because it's a problem for the Pharah, but this is where the enemy team comes in. Because when you're on Pharah, and especially if you're getting healed, but even if you're not getting healed, generally when someone picks Pharah, you're kind of just required to go hit scan. Right? If you don't go like McCree or something like that, like you will not be able to kill Pharah. She will just fly way above you. You have to deal with damage fall off. Her rockets do not have damage fall off whatsoever. I think her ult does, but that's specifically her ult, which you want to use point blank anyway because of its burst nature. Right? You want to hit all your rockets, which you'll see later in this footage, I guess, probably, assuming that I actually ult somebody. But yeah, that's Pharah's big problem. Basically, on your team, she requires certain support. Can't speak. Certain supports that can actually heal her because she's floating 300 miles in the air. And if you're on someone like Ana, I mean, you could heal Pharah, but it requires some pretty concentrated effort on your part as the Ana, and like a lot of dedicated healing. Whenever your other characters, they can just kind of like come back, right in front of you or like somewhat near you, on the ground where the rest of the team is, and they're really easy to heal. But with Pharah, it's like, what do you want them to do? Yeah, that's basically the problem with your team. And then, like I said, the problem with the enemy team requires hit scan. How the fuck is Reaper supposed to touch me? How is Lucio supposed to go, jump and kill Pharah? Soldier kind of can, but even then, if I have a Mercy on me, which I probably won't this game, then how are they supposed to kill me? You cannot out heal Mercy's healing is the same regardless, even if you're in the air or on the ground. And Mercy likes being airborne anyway. That's why they're such a good combo. But if Mercy's just, sitting up there with you and Pharah, and you're getting healed and Mercy's around the corner healing you, like, nobody can really outdamage that outside of hit scan characters with very high bursts, like McCree, Widow, and Ashe, for example. Like, those are the big three for me whenever I think of Pharah counters. Generally, I go McCree because I like him, and he's very straightforward. The also thing with your E is if you time it well, which I sure as hell didn't do there, you can use it to deny res as well. It's one of the best abilities for denying res because it's very high knockback. I mean, if I hit like this Lucio, you'll see he's way back there already. That was like 2 damage. It's only a knockback ability, really. Yeah, you can also shoot yourself to do knockback with your own normal rockets, which you can combine with your left shift to go flying like this while still having your jetpack. And then you can just stay up in the air like this. And like projectile characters, the projectiles are too slow generally in this game for that to be a shot that you can hit. Because you don't have damage fall off, you can just go as high as you want to be and kind of be really, really hard to contest. You can just keep poking people like I am right here. And unless they're really paying attention, like their soldier, like very easy to just surprise people and get easy kills that way. Yeah, that's fair. That's why people have a problem with her. That's why people have a problem with her on her team or on the enemy team. And she's super weird, right? I don't remember if Pharah always was able to fly forever. I feel like that wasn't the case. I swear that was patched in. I think that's the simple fix to her. I don't mind if Pharah is in the air 90% of the time. But if there's like a 5-second window where Pharah has to touch the ground, it makes it easier for both the supports and the enemies, right? It means that projectile characters can actually kill Pharah, not most of the time, because she'll still be airborne, but she won't be just floating here. It's like, what are you supposed to do on like Junkrat, for example? If you're Junkrat back there, and I'm a Pharah right up here on the roof, and especially if I have a Mercy, you can either damage boost me or heal me, like, what are you supposed to do as that Junkrat? And the answer is just swap, like a Junkrat ain't doing shit. Oh yeah, I was late with my concussion mine. That was just like delayed reaction time on my part. Genuinely my bad. Yeah, you can see even with like no real support. You see even like this Ana, I wasn't doing any fancy movement, I was just kind of hovering there. The hard shot to hit, I can't even blame Ana for missing those. I miss those unfair sometimes, because generally if you don't scope in, it's like nearly impossible to hit fair with Ana, because it's projectile. Like I just explained, projectiles are gonna miss in those scenarios. Mercy was actually kind of smart in the way she resed that, because she did it in a way where... Oh, shit. Thank you. She did that in a way where I couldn't really goop her away.
Good job.
Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Yeah. On the whole, though, I like her simplicity is just fun. I really like the character.
Alrighty, just spam your ult thing, and I'll try my best.
Yeah, I mean that's really all there's to say about the character. Like, she's really straightforward, really basic. Not really that good. Like in high elo, she's bad because everyone just plays hit scan there anyway, since hit scans are 90% of the time the best DPS in the game. There's some rare cases where, like, for example, I don't know, when was the last time it was like a hardcore projectile character meta? Like generally hit scans always meta. Like there's even characters that are rarely in the meta, like Reaper are meta more often than like Hanzo. Or especially Junkrat. I don't think Junkrat has been meta in any high elo game since literally like the launch of Overwatch. And even then, it was just because of its simplicity and people's general, I don't know, newness to the game.
Oh boy, that's a piggy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what are you supposed to, like, they pop visor and I'm just floating there. You can see on the soldier screen, he sees me floating up there, right, he pops ult, I'm just up there. Pharah can't drop very fast. She just hovers very slowly in the air. Very easy to hit on hit scan, and very impossible to deal with on projectile. And very impossible to deal with on tank, because tanks don't have that verticality, and tanks generally don't have long range. Like, just straight up. The only, you know, generally my pick whenever they have a Pharah is Roadhog, because if she flies low enough, and it's stupid, because a lot of Pharah plays are, a very simple hero attracts a very simple-minded person. Right? Whenever I have to go deal with that, that's still res. That's still res. That's actually, I agree. You see right there, it makes you stationary, right? If I was holding up, like, space and pressing left shift, whatever, it wasn't gonna work. But even my Ana is just like, damn, how did that res? Because normally that actually denies res. Like, even in Overwatch 2 where res is nearly impossible to deal with, that concussion blast normally deals with it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I think Pharah just needs more movement options and to not be able to permanently hover. Like I said, I don't mind if she can just hover in the air for a little bit. Like if I'm like when I hold space, you see I'm slowly descending like this. I think that'd be okay to have in the game. Like a relatively quick descent where she could kind of get up in bursts, almost like Echo. I may hate Echo, but the one thing I'm okay with is kind of the way that works.
Kill that Mercy. Kill that Mercy. No, she just got in right away.
Yeah.
Can't let this Mercy get away with it, dude.
No fucking way she'll lie. Holy shit. Oops. But yeah, generally most of your style on Pharah is just poking. That's just kind of, you know, most people don't like that. When you're not poking, it's because you're nanoed or have a Mercy Pocket or a Zarya bubbling you, and you can just kind of go in and do whatever the fuck you want. But for the most part, Pharah requires a lot of very specific supports from her team and takes a lot of resources away from the tank, who already is strapped for resources a lot of the time, with just any other character on the team. And then she also requires the enemy to play certain characters, and especially tank. The problem is tank, literally, the best option you have for dealing with Pharah on tank is D.Va. Alright, and it's only because D.Va can fly up and defense matrix Pharah sometimes, and if she's like half health, can maybe burst her down, but only then. Like, otherwise, you don't have an option. That's why Ramattra was exciting for a bit, because he was a character that allegedly would be able to pull Pharah out of the sky, which was the first tank in like all of Overwatch that could deal with this character. It was okay before when there was two tanks, because you had, you know, you could have like Winston and D.Va, you know, both jumping around. You could bubble the Pharah, you could defense matrix her, and the fact that she required so much support from her team meant that, like, you couldn't really run Pharah too often, right? Because when you have two tanks and two DPS, which with still two supports and lower healing numbers, right, you have to give one support pretty much to keep Pharah up, either like a Zen or a Mercy. I don't really think there's too many other options. Which means for the other 4 people on your team, or 3 people on your team, right, 2 tanks and another DPS, you had one support because you were running Pharah.
Oh, I got him.
Oops, that last shot was bad.
I'm gonna give it a bug. I saw you on a flank, and I was like, oh, our Pharah can cook. And then I heard you, and I read shit. And I was like, oh shit, it's useless.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's like, you know, they're on like hit scan, then Pharah becomes like really rough to play. If they're not on hit scan, it's just completely free. Like, I don't know if they weren't on free at some point in this game, but I'm sure I was just flying around doing whatever the fuck. Like, I vaguely remember just flying around doing whatever the fuck I want. Because what are they supposed to do? You can also play like really goofy angles like that one that no one ever has to shoot at any point, so they're not used to fighting it. Why did I think I supports were up? Well, they were.
Whoa.
But it's just Ana. Okay, that's right.
Right here, Ryan, right here.
Zen died.
Nice. Soldier 1.
But yeah, on the whole, I find her rockets to be very satisfying to use. I find the splash damage and the damage overall to be pretty fair, especially with the slow-ass fire rate. You know, Pharah hasn't been meta in high meta for ages, and that's generally just because she requires so many resources, and when you go hit scan and you hit your shot, she's easy to shut down. The problem is you have to be good. You have to be able to aim. If you can't aim, like let's say for example, hypothetically, you were silver and you just can't aim your weapon, then Pharah is just even worse. Like, Pharah can be bad to deal with even in like the highest levels of GM on ladder. If you have like a constant, you know, Pharah with a constant Mercy Pocket and Zarya bubble, and they're getting nanoed 24/7, and then they have like a good hit scan like a Widow or something to help back him up, like you're not gonna kill that guy. It's basically impossible to win a lot of the time. And more than pretty much any other hero except Sojourn, who's just can kill 5 every fight. But that's just being overtly strong and not really a like a hero design thing. That's just a numbers thing where her numbers are all way too high. But for Pharah, it's not that her numbers are too high, it's not that she's too strong, it's that with a lot of support, splash damage in general is just kind of strong, and the ability to be up in the air and force people to play in a certain way to be able to damage you or kind of do anything to you in the first place, it doesn't work well. It does not go well with Overwatch.
Nice.
Really wasn't the best barrage, but I did get Lucio, so that's okay. The Res Lucia, because only Ryan was guarding. Yeah, like that's
No supports.
that's the Pharah.
Walk
The
up in the mines,
Pharah
mine,
here. Oh, this is the last fight.
Walking in the mines.
Sure. You can see like the soldiers like lasering me. I got my slow ass rockets, my slow ass reload. That's over. Alright. That's fair. Right? You get fucked up if you're in a higher elo and people can aim. Even if you like, I obviously didn't play fair perfectly there, and I didn't have a mercy pocking me, which kind of proves my point that she kind of needs a mercy a lot of the time for that self-sustain.
Nice.
Because when I'm just floating there slowly, like they're just gonna take me out. It's very easy. Fair is very bad unless you give her like 30 tons of support. When you give her 30 tons of support, she's very strong. Or if you're in a lower elo, where most people play projectile heroes due to lack of mechanical aim, generally because they don't play the game too much, or they have some condition or something, then Pharah's even worse, because it's like there's nothing you can do. Your only answers to Pharah are hit scans or Echo, who's the other flyer, and Echo's a whole nother story, and in my opinion way more problematic than Pharah, because Pharah, like, she's kind of like Moira, where she's just like a noob trap, right? In lower elos, Pharah dominates, and in higher elos, Pharah only dominates with a shit ton of support. But with this shit ton of support, because you have splash damage and solid direct damage, and because you can play, you can like poke so easily, where you just like go around the corner here, shoot your shot, shoot your shot. You can be like anywhere pretty much on Pharah. Like no other character can be up here shooting you for 30 minutes straight, but Pharah can. And if you're near the cliff too long, she can just boop you as well. But in Silver, where they can't hit Pharah, even with hit scan, like Pharah's just a free win. Like it's as long as you stay in the air and you have like a mercy on you, it'd be nearly impossible to lose. It's just a free win. If you just want to hit plat, even though you suck, literally just fly around the corners, like by corners. You want to be by corners. Fly like at the corner here with Pharah. Just keep peeking and shooting, and eventually you'll kill things, and they won't kill you if you're actually in Silver and stuff, because they can't. They don't have the mechanical skill. It's like a skill check, right? Same thing with Moira. It's a skill check. If you don't hit your shots on Moira, she sucks you off, right? But in Pharah's case, she blows you up with her rocket launcher. But in high elo, she requires way too much support, while there's other characters that can do what Pharah does better without requiring support, or if they get support, they'd be even better than Pharah. So like, she's bad in high elo, she's a problem in low elo, and she's also generally really straightforward, right? Her movement is very one-dimensional. You fly up and then you hover there. You don't move around super fast. The only slightly dynamic thing with Pharah is this little concussion blast that lets you do a quick 1 second little burst. But I think she'd be a character that benefit from a lot more movement, and it seems the devs agree. This isn't out yet, but in 3 days or something, in Season 9, they're reworking Pharah to give her more movement, which is a great thing. I'm glad they're finally doing that. It's been needed for a while. And yeah, I mean, basically none of this is going to apply in a second, because they're going to fix it. That's all my thoughts on Pharah. That's why she was a problem for most of Overwatch. Not all of it. Like I said, I don't think she always hovered forever. Without hovering forever, her kind of movement and all that becomes a lot more dynamic. But right now, you want to hover forever because you have no damage fall off. So being as far away as possible, being all the way out here, flying 30 miles away from the map, you can do the same damage if you're point blank, right? You could say I two-shot that guy from way back there. I could be way back over there and two-shot this guy. Now, if this guy's a hit scan, almost every hit scan, even Widow now, actually has damage fall off. So there's some points in some maps where Pharah can just spam out from like all the way back here. And like, if she hits the ground near you enough, like she can splash damage you out. With the Mercy damage boost, it's even more brutal, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Right? High height and mobility permanently, where you can be in place on the map that no one else can be. Like, you can be, like, probably by that tower if there was an invisible wall blocking it. You could be, like, out here on Pharah. And if I could see that bot from here, I could kill him. I can see those bots from here, I can kill them. Right? It's very hard the further away you are. And I kind of suck. I'm not hitting directs. You could see, like, they're dead. I could do that from out here. I could do something like that from out here. That guy's now dead. And that's the problem with Pharah, right? She's just extremely heavy poke and requires a very specific counterplay. It's not exactly hard to do, but it's just that she requires it. And that's bad hero design. When something requires a certain play thing, like, when you have to play a certain hero or have access to certain things to be able to beat a hero, that is simply bad hero design. Right? It's just bad across the board. And that's why nobody really likes Pharah. They don't like her in high elo. They don't like her in low elo. You know, people in the middle elos like her because she makes it so easy to win. I think there's a lot of people in Plat who play Pharah, and if they swap to any other character, they would be gold or silver. Because, you know, you need the aim to answer. And Plat is around the area where people start having enough mechanical aim to, you know, go McCree real quick and then hit her with 3 body shots or something. Right? Just go like boom, boom, boom to the person in the air, right? Boom, 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 and it clears down. But yeah, that's the problem with Pharah. That's my idea for fixing her, because I think she's pretty easily fixed. And overall, generally pretty fun. Like, I still play her a decent amount from time to time. It's very fun, you know, flying around just bombarding people. Directs feel super satisfying to land. And the nice, you know, like, small splash damage you do like that, when you hit an indirect, right, like that, it's also just nice. It feels great. Especially if you can get a Mercy Pocket, it feels super fun to just, you know, be going around, being uncontestable, you know, trying to hit directs, and when you hit them, they just feel great. You know, the sound design, the effects, everything else feel amazing. I just kind of wish she was more dynamic and had more counterplay, and hopefully the Season 9 rework does that. That being said, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.